Studio owners, let's talk for a moment about marketing and advertising trends and what's working right now. The same thing that's working right now is not what was working a year ago. That's not the same as what was working 2 years ago. And there are also cycles and trends in advertising in the dance studio world, especially, that work better and worse throughout the year. So we want to make sure that we follow these trends, that we pay attention to them. And in this presentation today, I'm going to show you exactly how you can do that. Now, fair warning, as I'm getting into some of this, we are going to get just a little bit techie. I'm going to show you something that looks a little bit techie in a second here. I don't want you to let that intimidate you if you feel like you're not a techie person. You do not need to be a techie person to kind of take advantage of some of this stuff. Mostly what I'm doing is I'm using this Google Trends tool to help you to focus on the right type of marketing at the right time. And if you'll do that, you'll be able to leverage your marketing dollars and, more importantly, your marketing time, the amount of focus in time that you have to put into your marketing and advertising your studio to get the most out of it. If you don't pay attention to these trends, you will fall into the trap that most studio owners fall into, and that's just kind of doing the same thing all of the time. And if you want to just do the same thing as everybody else in your area, you're going to get the same results as everybody else in your area. If you want to stand out, if you want to be able to leverage your dollars and your hours of your marketing a little bit better, then you need to pay attention to this kind of thing. Okay, let's head over to my computer for a second, and I'm going to just pull up a really simple tool. This is a free tool that's provided by Google. If you just go to trends.google.com, you can kind of verify this information or check up-to-date information if you're watching if you're watching this video at a later time, or if there's some topics that you want to look or trends you want to check that are more relevant to what you teach, you can use this tool to do that as well. All I'm going to do is I'm going to type into this tool a keyword search term like dance studio or dance studio near me is another one that you might want to run. And what Google is going to show me is in the past 12 months, how has the search volume and interest over time fared over the last year or so. So right now, January 2021, February, something like that is when I'm recording this video. And you'll notice that back here in March of 2020, all of a sudden there were a bunch of people searching for dance studios and there was a lot of interest in it, and then it just absolutely tanked, right? And of course, that's kind of what we would expect. It kind of bottomed out in April of 2020. Everybody kind of knew that studios were shut down, and so very few people were out there actively looking for dance studios. And so if you were running Google ads or if you were relying on search engine optimization to get people to kind of reach out to your studio, when something like that happens, obviously that stuff is not going to work very well. So we don't want to be focusing on those types of marketing systems during those times. But you'll notice that what happened then is that throughout 2020, as studios started to kind of open back up again, the number of people that were searching for dance studios climbed significantly, and then it just absolutely tanked again, and it literally got lower down here than it did at its lowest point when everything first shut down. Slowly climbing, starting to curve back down again, and we're going to see that trend over time. Okay, so the point that I'm trying to make here, actually, let's make another point. As we go back 5 years in data, you'll notice that just in general, the number of people, if we kind of imagined the mean, the line that ran through this these search trends here over the last 5 years, not only did COVID drop this, but just kind of over time, the number of people like actively searching for that particular term has gone down as well, not up. There aren't more people now searching for that online. There are fewer people searching for that online, and at the lowest point right now that we have been in many, many years. So in other words, it's not wrong to be running Google ads. It's not wrong to be focusing on things like search engine optimization, but both of those marketing techniques generally require somebody to type into a search bar dance studio or dance studio near me or something like that. Why would you be spending as much money on those types of marketing events, those types of marketing techniques, when the results that you're getting are going to be significantly lower? And we don't have a lot of control over that, right? There's very few techniques that we can use to make people go out and use those search terms as they're looking for things online. There's very little, like influence that we have over that. So right now, as we're recording this, it's not a great time to be running those types of ads and running that type of marketing if there are other things that are available to us, and there are lots of them. Okay, we have lots of options for marketing, but those types of marketing techniques are not the best to be using or focusing on right now. Okay, so paying attention to trends is a very, very important thing. once upon a time, we did very well with Yellow Pages ads. We had some really, really, kind of sneaky techniques that we would use in the Yellow Pages, and we attracted a lot of students to our studios and our different programs over the years using the Yellow Pages. But like, we would make fun of people for advertising that same way in the Yellow Pages today. There are trends that come and go, and there are trends that that happen throughout the year at different times of year, right? That's part of the reason that our studios, we can be so successful during the summer months and so many other studios don't, is because we understand in our area the types of marketing methods that work at that time of year, and they're not the same types of marketing methods that work in the fall and that necessarily work in the winter months. So it just depends a little bit on a number of variables. Okay, so here's the thing though. Here's the issue. Every studio is a little bit different, and every studio's marketing budget's a little bit different. Every studio's goals are a little bit different. The economic situation in every regional location is a little bit different, and so the recommendations that we make for what marketing principles you should be implementing at any given time might change pretty significantly from one studio to the next. So we'd like to offer a 30-minute strategy call with me and my team, and to talk a little bit more about how you might be able to implement some of these advertising trends that we're talking about in your area to make things just work better than they have been in the past. Like I said, most studios don't even understand this stuff, and part of the problem is that every studio, of course, is different. And so we, in order to kind of take advantage of this free offer, we're not going to charge anything at all for the call. We need to know a little bit more about your studio. So if you'll go to dancestudioconsult.com, once again, you'll be redirected to a little form that you can give us a little bit of information about your current situation and what your studio is sort of struggling with right now, what your goals are, and maybe some of the nuances of your area. And then once you fill out that form, you'll be redirected to our calendar. You can pick a time that's convenient for you to hop on a call, and we'll go through some of the data and we'll help you kind of crunch a few really, really simple numbers. And then we'll be able to we have some kind of proprietary formulas that we'll run you through, and we'll be able to make some really specific recommendations on what you should be doing and how you can kind of better take advantage of the marketing, once again, that is working right now. And once again, no charge for this call. You do need to give us a little bit of information, because in our consulting programs, we don't have any just completely canned, non-customized consulting tools at all. We know that every studio is different. We know that every studio has very specific goals and very specific circumstances and a very specific history. And we want to make sure that we take that into account as we're sort of customizing a plan for you. So head over to dancestudioconsult.com and fill out that simple form. Let's get on a call. Let's talk a little bit about what you should be doing next. And then we may make an offer to you to have us help you to implement those things and to see if you can really push your enrollment aggressively if that's what you're trying to do. We'll also be able on that call to help you identify the real low-hanging fruit. What are the most simple things that we can implement the first to get the most bang for your buck and get the best financial return for your studio as well. Okay, hope this was helpful. I hope this was insightful. I hope you understand why some marketing strategies work better at certain times of year and throughout time than other ones do, and that we have so much data available to us, we can make very, very good decisions about that. Hope that was helpful. If you have other ideas for topics you'd like to see us make videos on, please let us know about that. Feel free to send us a private message or comment in the comments section under this video. Happy to respond to that as well. Outside of that, head over to dancestudioconsult.com. Let's set up a time to talk more specifically about the specific circumstances in your studio and how you can really take things to the next level.